The Gospel for today may be found on page 1147 in your Bible, page 1147. It's from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 2, beginning with verse 1, page 1147. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who's been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet, 'And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel.'" Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I don't know if you saw the three wise guys here. They came up during the gospel. Of course, everybody was standing. It's harder to see them. And then they came to the nativity set. And we have the figures of the three wise men here. So, and they will disappear after Mass. They only have a short appearance this year. So these are marvelous figures. They're quite works of art. They're hand-carved figures. So you might come and enjoy them for a few minutes before they disappear after Mass. Well, today we celebrate the Feast of the Epiphany. Let me tell you a little story. In the early 1930s, there were a bunch of people standing at San Francisco Bay, a bunch of tourists, and they were observing, and they thought it was beautiful. They saw the water was great, and there were lots of boats and ships on the water, the blue sky, and there were clouds. And they saw the coastline, and they were just marveling at the whole vision. But there was one guy, an engineer by the name of Robert Strauss, who had a different vision. He saw a bridge that connected one end of the channel, one end of the bay to the other. And in 1936, the Golden Gate Bridge, his bridge, was dedicated. His vision had come true. All the other people saw that, but they saw just scenery. He had the vision. Now, the wise men saw the star, but lots of people saw that star. Lots of people looking up there said, "Wow, isn't that great? Ooh, I've never seen a star like that before." But the wise men had the vision. They said, "This is something special. This is a sign. And we believe it's a sign that a king has been born. West of us, let us go and search and find him. And they followed their vision. They naturally, we don't know how long this took them. It may have taken weeks, months, years. We don't know how many there were. That says we sing of the three kings, but first of all, they weren't kings, and there weren't three of them, probably. There may have been 2 or 10 or who knows how many, but anyhow, they followed their vision, whoever they were. And expecting to find the king of the Jews, they went to where the king lived in Jerusalem, and they thought it was his child, obviously. So when they asked, where's this newborn king? Now, Herod, the king, was pretty surprised because he didn't know of any kings being born. He had no children born recently. He said, what are you talking about? He probably didn't say that out loud, but that's what he was thinking. And he was very disturbed because he was very jealous, envious, and pretty crazy. And so all Jerusalem was afraid with him because they never knew what he might do. Now, I'm sure that these 3 wise men, or however many there were, offered their vision to the king, but he refused to accept it. So they turned and followed their vision again, and they found Jesus. So I guess the question for us is, do we follow the vision, or do we ignore the vision? Do we see the vision? Are our eyes open? I'm thinking of some folks in Evansville who look at problems we have in our community and have the vision to be able to solve them. I think, for example, of industries up North 41, Highway 41, who have work available, and I see poor people in the inner city who are looking for work and needing work and willing to work, but have no transportation and they can't connect. These people got a bus route going to connect the two. This group is called Congregations Acting for Justice and Empowerment, or CAGE for short. CAGE saw to it that a bus route was formed so people could get to work, also to Newburgh, so people could work at the Gateway Hospital and go on to Newburgh. And so transportation was greatly improved. Now, this is being evolved into other forms now. 10, 12, 13 years ago, the health community in Evansville said that one of the major problems is people have dental problems and can't get help. And if it's bad enough, they just can't work. And they may get fired, they may lose their jobs, and they're in great pain. And what's going to happen? They go and get opioids, perhaps, some sort of pain medication, and they get antibiotics, but it doesn't solve their problem. And the clinic had a 6-month waiting period. So CAGE influenced the Dental Society and the county council to form a dental clinic. And so people were getting help. Now that's evolved into something else from Echo Health, but people are getting help now because CAGE had the vision that things can be better and we can help people, and those people can get their feet on the ground and do something productive in this life. Now we're working on a crisis intervention center so that when the police are called, when somebody has a mental health problem and is acting out, or if they're overdosed on opioids or some kind of medication, the police don't have to put them in jail or in the emergency room. They can put them in a crisis intervention center where they can be treated, calmed down, dried out, whatever, and then referred for help. And at that point in their life, they might be more willing to get help. We're on the verge of making that happen. We're working for affordable housing. There's all kinds of things you can do when you have the vision and work together. Another group I thought of is women in general. Women, many women in our world have been abused by some men for, I guess, probably since Adam and Eve. And now, and if they spoke out, they were abused more. So, but now something has changed. Now they're being listened to. Now they're having some power. Now they're being able to change some things. They have the vision. So let's just think about the vision that we have? Do we have the vision of Jesus? Do we have a vision to look at this world of ours and look at the problems and be able to do something good and constructive and helpful to change things for the better? What is the vision that drives you?